All right, we are going to talk about conversion. So if you want to convert from one data type to another, you do something called parsing. So let's say we want to get an input from the user. We want to ask how old they are. We can say that our age, and I'm going to say age is a string because we know everything that comes back from a prompt is a string. So we'll say age string equals prompt, what is your age? And then we'll put a semicolon. And then on the next line, I'm going to alert the type of age string. So this should tell me what type of information I have in age string. If we've done everything correctly, we expect this to be a string because we know everything that comes back from a prompt is a string. So I'm going to save this. I've got my live server running already. So when I go over to my website, I get a pop-up that says, what is your age? We'll enter 99. We'll hit OK. And it says that is a string. So just like we expected, everything that comes back from a prompt is a string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new line in between these lines of code. And so right here, I'm going to say, oops, I apologize. Been coding in Python too long and they don't use the keyword let. But let is important to put in front. So you'll say let age string equal prompt, what is your age? That will create a variable, give it a name, and then assign the result of the prompt to that variable. I'm going to create a new variable here. I'm going to say let age int equal prompt, or sorry, equal, and then we're going to convert this age string into an age integer. The way we do that is we say parse, and then we use this parseInt function. So we're going to hit tab, and then I'm going to undo that real quick so I can show you the little IntelliSense hint. So we're say parse, and then you'll notice that this parseInt has a purple cube. Anytime you see a purple cube, that means it's a function, which means you need to put parentheses after it. We will talk about functions in greater depth in the future, but just as a rule of thumb, if it is this square inside of brackets, you don't need parentheses. If it's a cube, you need parentheses. So we're going to do this parseInt. It requires parentheses, so we're going to put our opening parenthesis, and then if we pause, it'll give us this hint that tells us what we need to put inside of these parentheses. So it says, this thing converts a string into a number, and the input it takes is a string. So do we have a string to convert? We do. On line 17, we created a variable called age string. We're going to take that age string, we're going to put it in here, and then it's going to convert it into an integer. So I'm going to type age string, and then I'll put a semicolon. And then now on the next line, I'm going to alert type of age string. Now, rather than, we already know age string is a string because it came from a prompt. We want to know the type of age integer. If this says that it is a number, it means our conversion has worked successfully. So we're going to save that and come over to our code. It says, what is your age? We'll say 99. We'll hit OK, and it says that is a number. So fantastic. We've now converted from a string to a number, which means any of the methods that we use to change how a number is being stored in our system, we'll be able to use now with this variable called age integer. Now, some of you may have been watching and realized that that is a lot of lines of code just to convert an input into a number. We already knew we wanted age to be a number. We've created now two variables just to get age as a number. And you probably don't want to do that. So let me show you how to put this on one line. So we said, let's create a variable called age string. And then we're going to assign the value of that variable, meaning the thing it's going to store is going to be whatever the user entered here. We also know that this parseInt can take in a string. We know that whatever the user types in comes back as a string. So the way we can simplify this onto one line is we can take our prompt and remove it. And where we had age string, we can place our prompt. So we're going to get a string. It's going to take the result of that string, send it to the parseInt. It's going to parse that into an integer and store it as ageInt. So now we don't need this line of code anymore. And now that we only have one variable, we can just call this variable age. So we're going to call it age. If we alert type of age, I'm just going to prove to you that this is the exact same thing. So we'll go over to our website. We'll say, what is our age? 99. We'll hit OK. And it says is a number. So it's successfully converting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to alert just age right now. And I'm going to show you the difference between parseInt and parseFloat. So if I save my code and I come over to the website, it says, what is your age? If I say 99.5 and say OK, it just alerts 99. So it dropped the 0.5, which in some cases is great. If you are intending to only have a whole number, I guess that works. But if you're rounding grade points or something like that, and you were at a 99.9, you want it to round up to 100 and not down to 99. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to convert it from a string into a number that has a decimal place or a float. So we're going to come over here. All we do is we change this from being parseInt to parseFloat. And now if we save it, and we come back over, it says, what is your age? We'll say 55.4 and we'll hit OK. And the alert is 55.4. If we come back over here and we alert type of age and save and go back over to our code, what is your age? 55.4. Hit OK. And it says it's a number. So we've successfully converted into a number that retains the decimal place. So if you want to keep the decimal place, use parseFloat. If you want to just have the whole number, then you can just use parseInt. And that concludes this video. Thanks for watching.